And we're on. Okay. Hi. I know it's been a minute, but I just wanted to kind of get on here. So just really talk about life after the narcissist and dating after the narcissist and just how hard things are after the narcissist and like just healing in the healing journey. And really, one of the most helpful things you can do is like realize when you're coming from your ego. Realize when you're doing anything and you're getting triggered and you react out of ego is one of the most helpful things that you probably will do. And when it comes to dating after the narcissist, it's like, it's so easy for us to just get in our little bubble and get in our little shell, and because we're healing. So, which is the right thing to do after a narcissist. But it's like also, we weren't meant to live in isolation forever. You have to get out and be a part of the world. And it's just like, it's just hard. It's so much easier in the bubble rather than when you have to get out there and get with people and like start dating and start having your self triggered, having your triggers triggered. It's like, it's just a lot of work and a lot of inner work and a lot of healing. But I mean, the best thing you can do really is just realize when you're coming from that place of ego, like realize, like that's the best thing you can do is just identify your ego, realize what your ego is. Your ego is like thinks it's protecting you by keeping you safe, but really it has you act in ways that are out of character. It's not what you would do if you were grounded and centered and really secure within yourself and who you are, which that's what this journey of life is figuring out who you are, who is your true authentic self. And also, like, you're going to change. You're going to be changing through your life. You're not always going to be the same person. Like, every day we can be a new person. Every day you can make the choice to be different, be a new person, make better choices, like make better decisions in your life, okay? I wish this camera was flipped because I'm looking at the ocean and it's gorgeous, or as they would call it, what do they call it? The Gulf. They get really funny about that in Florida. But I don't know. Also, I've said this before, but get out of that hometown that's holding you back, because moving to Florida was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Definitely. But I don't know. That's just another little tidbit. Like, just do whatever it takes, especially after that narcissist. Do whatever it takes to get yourself to your highest vibrational state, because life is already hard enough. Like, life is hard. Life is hard, okay? Like, it's just roller coaster, all right? So I'm trying to be good here, but it's hard. I know, okay? And you have periods of isolation, and then you might have periods of being manic, right? And if you're ADD or ADHD or whatever, I'm pretty sure I probably have some ADD because a lot of it sounds familiar. And it's like, yeah, I definitely have periods of highs and lows and like wanting to go in isolation. But it's just like, that's why too, being by the ocean and the water is so important for me. But like, you might want to be in the mountains, or you might want to be in the desert. It's like, just get yourself somewhere. You have the intuition, like you have a calling inside of you where you want to be. And it's just like, life is too short. Life is too short. If your body is calling you there and your soul is calling you there, just do it. Just go, like, just do it. Life is too short to not be happy. And it's too long to not be happy. When you're miserable, it feels like forever. But when you're happy, it flies by. But, you're just going to have days of roller coaster. I mean, you'll have ups and downs, and I don't know. Just the best thing I feel like you can do is just realize what your ego is. Sorry, we can call that a confirmation burp, is what I hear people say. I haven't even burped all day. That's weird. But, yeah, just realize when you're coming from your ego rather than your authentic, true, happy, grounded, centered self, which is where meditation comes in. Like, stuff like that. It really is helpful, because I notice, like, when I'm not doing my meditations and I just, like, wake up and start getting on the flow and getting with the flow and going with whatever life brings, it's like it spirals. It's a spiral. You don't notice it's happening, but all of a sudden you're just so, like, out there. You're just so, like, you don't realize how fast you can become unraveled and ungrounded you can get, like, so quickly. So, like, that's why, too, it's just so important to do the inner work and take time really every day for meditation in the mornings. Like, do the meditations, do the journaling, do the mindful exercises, right? And, like, for me too, that's being here at the water, at the ocean, at the beach, grounding in the sand. That's one of the best things you can do for grounding as well. It's just like, take time for yourself, I guess, if that, like, maybe that's the point of this video. I just started recording not really knowing where I was going with it. Besides, I know I just kind of wanted to touch on dating after the narcissist is hard, because it's going to bring up a lot of triggers in you and a lot of triggers with that narcissist. And, I kind of just posted a few videos about this, but just like, you don't want to go into the place where you become numb and you're numbing yourself to where you don't feel any emotions. And you don't want to go into the place where you're completely isolating and becoming depressed, because we weren't meant to be in isolation like that. But then dating too, it's like, you just have to take your time, take your time. Don't rush into anything. And I know it's, like, hard too when you actually do start talking to someone after the narcissist and you've taken your time to heal and you feel like you're ready to get back out there and date. And it's like, it's hard when you feel like you found someone that you actually want to talk with. But, and it's scary. It's scary. But the thing is, you just take your time still. Take your time. And if you're a woman and you need a reminder, like, watch the relationship content, because it's a thing about, let the man pursue you and show you where he's at. Don't lead him. Like, don't lead the man, okay? And just realize your triggers in yourself. And if you feel like you're spiraling, bring yourself back, ground yourself, recenter. But do not lead that man. Do not lead that man. You want him to show you where he is. You don't need to lead him. And even, okay, I know, and you feel like, oh, you're getting into a good text message conversation for, a few days or a week or however long, and then, like, he goes absent or silent and things just don't feel the same, that day or something. But it's like, still, do not lead him. Do not text first, okay? Because the man's job is to pursue. And even if you do text first and they do respond, yeah, they're going to respond, but it's not going to be the same conversation you would have had he texted you first. And you're going to end up with some resentment. Like, you're going to be resentful, because it's like, internally as the woman, that man is supposed to be the one pursuing. So as the woman, it's like, you're already, the fact that you even sent that message, you sent that text message first, you're already triggered. That's already triggering as a woman. Like, you're just thinking, this doesn't feel right. This is not how it's supposed to go. Like, we just know. It's just our instincts. It's our subconscious. But that's why this work is so important, to do the inner work, do the mindfulness work, okay? Because then you can take a step back and realize that and look at that for what it is from an outside perspective. Get the bird's eye view of what is really going on, okay? Because you don't want to be getting into another relationship with a narcissist. You don't want to be putting yourself back out there and getting yourself hurt again like that, which is why it's just so important to take your time. As a woman, I'm sorry, but men and women, I know there's men that watch my content, but men and women, we're two different beings, okay? We live in different worlds, basically. And yeah, a lot of it does when it comes to narcissists. A lot of it is similar on both sides because toxic is toxic. But when it comes to dating, now this is a completely different topic. And it is what it is. It just is what it is. The woman should not be pursuing. The man is the pursuer, the provider, the protector. The woman should be in her feminine energy, okay? That's rest, relax, receive, be grateful, and be gracious of the man's efforts, okay? Especially if you're interested in him, all right? If you're actually interested in him, then yeah, be receiving of his efforts and be grateful and appreciative of that, right? But when it comes to dating, the men and women's worlds are so different, and we just have different roles in dating and in life and in the world, which is what we're here to co-create, which really the 3D world, well, it's a man's world, basically. Everything is built by men. This is a man's world we live in. And women more likely are going to live in 5D world, which is the unseen. It's the unseen. It's the infinite. I just saw a reel the other day and he explained that so well. But it's basically, we live in the infinite. We always know there's more. We just know. He explains it well. I'll try to find it and tag it if I can. But he just talks about, the woman lives in the infinite. We're basically, we live in the 5D. And it's we're on another level consciously. And if there's men in the 5D too, well, that's great. But that still is, this world is a man's world. It's a 3D world. They've created it. They've created this. So women are just emotionally on a different level. And we see things men don't see. We feel things they don't feel. We have intuition for a reason. And we create. The woman's job is to create. We're the creators. We create things, out of whatever, our intuition, whatever God gives us. That's what, if something is on your heart to create, that's your intuition. And follow that nudge, follow that voice, that whatever, is from God telling you, do this. Just like now, I didn't know what I was going to really talk about on this video, and I was going to make it a short one. So, and it's getting hot in this car, so I'm going to have to open this, and there's cars flying by, so it's loud. So anyways, I will wrap it up. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to get out about feelings, I guess. I haven't really got on here and been vulnerable and open. I feel like there's just been so much going on. And if you saw my last video, then I'm about to start living the van life. So I only really have a few months to get that figured out. And I just feel like time is going to go by so fast. And so I'm going to walk you through that process as well, if you're interested in that, of start to finish of what it takes to go from living in an apartment to living in a van. The whole process, trading my car in, getting rid of my things. We'll just walk through it all. How do I find the van? All of it. If you're interested in maybe doing van life as well or whatever, that'll be more content you can watch if you'd like to. But in the end, I know it's going to be the right decision. I just feel it. it's going to be the right thing for me right now. It just makes too much sense in every aspect. Like if I had my van right now, I'd be just parked here in my home, right by the water, but I have to drive probably 50 minutes back to my apartment in traffic and rush hour. So that's annoying. But anyways, it just makes sense for me right now. But okay. I don't know. Thank you for watching. I hope any of this made sense. I don't know. I feel like I probably rambled and I was all over the place, but that's what women are. That's what we are. Like, that's how we are. That's what we are. We're like creative and everywhere, and men are very structure. Like, men are structure. Or someone told me that. Men are order and women are chaos, but we're a beautiful chaos. We're a beautiful mess. That's what we're here for, okay? Our beauty and our presence is like, that is the gift. Like, that is the gift. Why do you think men want us so bad? Why do you think men chase us? They want our essence. They want our beauty and our gift in this mystery they can't figure out. Like, I don't know. But women understand each other. Like, we know. And we understand men too. Like, that's the funny thing is women, if you've done the inner work and done, studied and, you can understand both sides of it. Whereas it's like men have a much harder time understanding the feminine. So, especially if you're healed, like, you have to be healed, okay? That's number one, because toxic is just fucking toxic and nobody wants that shit. So make sure you're healing. That's my biggest advice. Realize when you're coming from a place of ego, like, do the inner work, figure out what your ego is, and realize when you're acting out of ego, because that's really not what we want. We don't want that. We don't want that, okay? So, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm getting really hot in this car. It's a black car and it's hot in here. So, okay, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, whatever. If you want to follow the van life thing, you can subscribe and follow that as well. I'm going to try to get better about posting more and get out of my head and, just feel. Go with the flow. That's what women are supposed to do. Feel it. It's a feeling. Go with the flow. Follow your intuition. Okay? And, okay, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.